Hey everyone, welcome to the Stories of Language Learners. I'm your host, Charles. Today's guest is Teacher Duda. She is the founder of Divergent English. She helps her students with English communication. She knows several languages, plus she speaks fluently Portuguese, English, Spanish, and French. In this episode, we talk about learning language through immersion, advice for shy people who struggle with communication, why consistency is really important when it comes to learning a new language, using your passion and your interests as an advantage to improve your English, the importance of recording your voice when you are learning a new language. If you would like to start a business teaching English, you definitely don't wanna miss Duda's advice about starting a business. Plus, we talk about how to build an online presence in a community using social media, especially through Instagram. I had an amazing time talking with Teacher Duda. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm sure that you guys are gonna enjoy it as well. Hey everyone, welcome to the Stories of Language Learners. Today I'm so excited to have Duda on the show. Hi Duda, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Hi, I'm very thankful. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm really great, and I'm so excited to have you here today. And yeah, I'm really excited to know your story. So just a little background about how we ended up doing this call, because I think it's interesting. We both follow each other on Instagram, and one day you made a story saying, ask me a question. And then I sent to you a question, which is your favorite podcast? And then you tagged me and you said, I like your podcast, I love your content. And I couldn't believe, because I know this is kind of sad, but I always think that no one is listening. So then I started to think, I think I'm gonna invite Duda to be part of this project. And you were so kind to say yes, so thank you for being here. Okay, so could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me again. And so I'm Duda. People call me Duda. My name is Eduarda. I'm from Rio Grande do Sul. I am currently living in Santa Maria, but I'm from Cruz Alta. It's a very little town in Rio Grande do Sul. And I'm an English conversation teacher. I teach conversation, I teach communication for Brazilians specifically, but I have also taught people from other countries how to speak English, how to communicate, and I also speak Spanish and French, and I like learning about Italian and some other languages, but currently I can speak those.
That's impressive. And when you told me that you know all these languages, I thought that was really cool. So let's dive in. How was your experience first learning English?
Yeah, so my experience learning English is actually very simple to explain, because I started learning Spanish. So Spanish was my first foreign language. And then after maybe in the same year, because I was very young, I don't remember very well. I think I was 10 or 11. And maybe in the same year, I started to focus more in English. I used to have English and Spanish classes in my school. I started studying in a private school when I was 8, I think. And then I started to feel very interested about languages in general. My school used to have exchange programs with people from Paraguay, Argentina. So I used to host people in my house. Me and my family, we used to be host families every year. And this started to affect me in a very good way, because I wanted to talk to everyone in my school like a crazy kid, and it was very fun. I started to be able to communicate, especially with the people that I was hosting in my house. So it was very interesting. And then after some time, I started to focus more in English. English. But by the time I knew Spanish, English was very easy. It was as I knew it already. It was kind of simple.
That's very interesting. So you started learning language super young and you developed a passion for learning it. So you first learned Spanish and then English. So basically you had experience by learning at school. And then after that, what was the kind of way that you started to study this language? Did you do some specifically course, like a traditional course or an online program? What was the process that you used for learning those languages?
Yeah, this is actually funny because as I started to learn when I was very young, I didn't have any type of interest in going to a language institute. I was like, oh my God, that's so boring and this type of thing. And then as I always had the opportunity to talk to other people from other countries, I basically studied with them. I studied like with practice, directly practicing. So it was something very natural. I never had the tradition of sitting down, opening up a book, memorizing a bunch of irregular verbs. I never had this kind of thing. I'm grateful for it because it's super exhausting. And I used to learn like very easily and naturally with other people. I used to memorize songs like from the artists that I like. I used to like everything I wanted to do in my normal daily routine. I used to do it in English. So my TV was always in English, my laptop, songs, series, movies, everything in English. I used to write. I used to have a journal that I used to write every day, first in Portuguese, then I used to write the same paragraph in English, the same paragraph in Spanish. It was insane, but it was something that really helped me. And also, after some time, this is the funny story, after some time, when I was 15, I went to an English institute, a new English institute that had opened in my city, because I wanted to have conversation classes. They posted a Facebook post, like a free conversation class, something like that. And I went there to check it out. And then the boss lady was there and she made me make a level test. And then she invited me to be the teacher there. So I was very impressed because I never thought about being a teacher. And she saw something good about my English, so I trusted her. And in the same week, I started to like organize my life, reorganize my schedules, and started to work there. I worked there for 1 year. In this 1 year that I was working there, I took a regular English course, the advanced English course. So this was the only time that I had any type of course.
That's awesome. This is incredible. The way that you were capable of learning a lot of language through basically immersion. And this is something that I wish that I knew when I first started learning English, because I started in the traditional way. And I know that I'm not the only one who think that learning the traditional way sometimes can be boring. And I wasn't so motivated to learning in this kind of way. I don't regret that I did these courses. I had experience in 2 different places, but I wasn't motivated to continue. And some of the things that I did after these courses, I basically immersed myself in the language. As you did, like through songs, to watching TV series, movies, everything that I wanted to do, basically I would do in English, even though it was sometimes hard and challenging, but I kept doing it. And the way that our brain works is kind of fascinating. So all of a sudden you start to understand. This is really nice, the way that you learned. And another thing about your experience teaching, this is awesome because you basically went to some free conversational classes and then you ended up starting this whole career as a teacher. And nowadays you have your own business and you are a specialist in communication in English and you help your students. So okay, the next question is, Do you have advice for shy people who struggle with communication? Because I struggled a lot with communication as a shy person. And I think that maybe you have some shy students, I don't know, because it's so usual. We are always afraid to start to speak, to get out of our comfort zone. Do you have any advices?
Yeah, this is very, very common. It's impressive how common this is in Brazil, especially. It's like a pattern. There's a pattern in Brazilian English students where people are very used to knowing the language. They understand very well. They can write. They can do activities, exercises, but they have like this block, this thing about speaking. So it's very common. Most of my students first started being very, very shy, especially with me in our first classes. They were very shy. They used to give me very short answers like yes, no, maybe. This type of thing, like how old are you? 29, like this. This always happens. It's something very common, and this is how shy people act when they start speaking another language. They try to speak very like fast and short answers. And my advice for people who are struggling with this is, first of all, find someone who you trust to communicate in the first moment. Like find someone who is also learning, a classmate, a friend, someone in your family, a relative, but find someone who you truly trust, because you won't be feeling bad, you won't be feeling embarrassed by your mistakes with this person. So I think this is really helpful. I remember that I used to feel very comfortable with anyone. I don't know why, but I used to be very comfortable, to feel very comfortable with these people from the exchange program in my school. So literally everyone who came to talk to me, I used to be comfortable with them. I don't know why, but I know it doesn't happen to most of the students. So maybe find a friend, start speaking to this one person. Start slow. One person is perfect for you to practice. Send audios on WhatsApp every day. Write on your WhatsApp in English with this person every day. Try to do basic daily things in English with this person who you trust the most.
Awesome. I loved your advice, and I wish that I did this when I was trying to find a way to really get out of my comfort zone. So my experience was kind of, I don't know if this is the right word, but it was kind of tragic because I remember that I found a program online where I would have classes with native English speakers. So that was the only way that I found for me to really start to use my active vocabulary, to really start speaking. So I suffered a little bit because it was so much more intimidating to have a call with a native English speaker. And I remember that the first class I was so worried. I sat behind the computer, I think 1 hour before to click in the button to call the tutor. But once I did that, I felt that each time that I had to try to communicate, I was getting better. But I loved your advice because, yeah, I should reach out to someone that I trust and that I was comfortable with. So I think would be easier and I would enjoy, I think, a little bit more. But yeah, thank you for sharing your advice. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, I did this question because I saw one stories that you were singing, and I think you have a beautiful singing voice. I don't want to make you sing right now, but maybe another episode. But I made this question because I always love to talk about music, because I truly believe in the power of songs to improve your English as a whole. So, do you believe that music can help us with learning language?
Yeah, I truly believe so. And it's something weird because I love singing. I truly love singing. I used to take singing lessons and guitar lessons when I was a kid. And I used to make performances. This is something that today I don't regret, but I feel very embarrassed about because I was a child and I used to sing in front of my entire school Adele songs, like "What the Hell, Girl," and oh God, it's so weird. Now that I remember this kind of thing, it's so funny for me. I sing literally every day, all the time, and it's a hobby. I have a lot of hobbies, so singing is one of them. This basically helped me a lot, especially with my communication skills, because when you're singing, you are speaking fast. Basically that's it. You are speaking fast. So this is something that I always suggest my students to do. I suggest them to go into lyrics training, the website or the app. Basically, all of them downloaded the app, and every class we have something about lyrics training on. And I suggest them to make the karaoke activities on lyrics training, or to make the traditional way to choose the lyrics correctly. But either way, music helps, and it will help you even more if you do it every day. You don't need to sing like for everyone to listen. You can sing it for you. You can try to record yourself once. You don't need to share it, just for you to see and listen like, oh my God, this is my voice speaking English. What? It's important for us to recognize this type of thing, because it's something that it's weird in the first moment, like, oh God, I'm speaking English. I didn't know my voice like this. Our voice changes, right? Between every language that we speak, our voice starts to change. And I think music makes us understand, recognize this type of difference, and it helps us with rhythm, it helps us with stress syllables in English, which is something that we don't have in Portuguese. So I think it really, really helps.
Yes, I totally agree with you because, yes, I never talked about it in the podcast, but I remember when I was teenager, when I used to go a lot to church, and when I was super engaging in the community of young people, I remember that one day I decided to take some free classes about singing, and I can say that even today I can use some of the skills that I learned through singing. Because, as you said, there are so many advantages. You can increase your vocabulary, you can improve your pronunciation, and linking as well. Music is powerful, and a lot of guests that I interviewed, they also learned a lot from songs. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Can you tell us the story behind how and when you started your business, Divergent English?
Yeah, it's a story that personally I really like telling because it is a big part of my life, a big part of my growth, because I'm 19 years old, and I don't know if I said that, but I started working when I was 15. I personally think that it's a young age for someone to start working. I was in high school. I had other responsibilities besides working, and when I was 17, I decided to take a coaching process. Basically, it's something that you do when you have a goal and you want some help reaching it. And I didn't know which was my goal. I just knew I had to do something. I was feeling a little unhappy with my current job at that time. I was feeling stuck. I felt like I didn't, how can I say that it wasn't worth like all the time I was spending there. I saw that I wasn't growing the way I expected to. So I decided to take this coaching process, and it basically opened up my eyes. It was awesome. In some sessions, I decided that I wanted to create an online business. So the next step was to decide what I was going to do, and I decided that I wanted to work specifically with conversation and not regular English teaching, because regular English teaching is something that I can't do because it's not up to me. I can't do it. I'm not an expert, so I can teach teach you how to express yourself in any situation, but I can't tell you exactly what rule or grammar rule you're gonna use it. So this is not my best skill. And then I saw that it was possible. Like, all right, you don't need to be a regular teacher. You can be a conversation teacher. Okay, no problem. And then I started my business. When I started, it was very messy and confusing. I didn't know what I was doing. It was very funny. I used to do it all myself. I still do it alone. But I used to, like, I didn't know what I was doing. It was crazy. If you go into like my first post, I have no idea what I was doing. Now I have a little more, I am sure, not so sure, but I'm a little more sure about what I'm doing. So basically that's the story. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. And I'm kind of blown away because you are so young and you have a business and you started to teach so young as well. And yeah, you decided to give it a try. And something that people always struggle is, I struggle when I started this podcast. I thought, I still sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing. But in the process, we will learn a lot. To put all this together, for example, for me, I had no idea how to talk with people, how to interview people, how to use a microphone, how to put the information online. And then I needed to think in a strategy for me to start to share this content. And my main platform is Instagram. And I know that I think your main platform is also Instagram. So it's a whole different monster. You need to learn skills to market yourself because it's not easy. It takes a lot of effort. You need to put a lot of hard work, but the cool thing is that you will learn in the process and you can apply these skills in a lot of areas of your life. So yeah, this is really incredible. Okay, what else I have here? Based on your experience, if someone is thinking about starting a business to teach English today, which advice you could share with this person? Actually, I put this question because I have a community on Telegram and I made a poll, and one of the options that I put in the poll, it was, if your desire is to use your English to make money or to teach English, vote in this option. And a lot of people, I know that they are interested in maybe teaching. So yeah, do you have any advice for someone who is thinking about teaching and using English?
Yeah, so I think it's been 5 years. Yeah, 5 years since I first started teaching, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but it feels like a lot. I don't remember. I don't know how many students I have already had in such a short period of time. But this is something so interesting. I believe so much in the language industry in Brazil because I can see the growth of that in the past 5 years until now. I can see so many teachers. I can see so many people innovating and trying to teach in different ways. So yeah, I think the best advice I can give someone is that, like, don't be afraid of showing your ideas. People will buy your ideas. We are very scared of, like, oh my God, no one's gonna like that. No one's gonna buy anything I'm selling. Someone's gonna buy it. Even if it's your mom, she's gonna buy it. And this is great because we don't trust our knowledge sometimes. We don't trust what we know. We don't trust a lot. So my advice is you don't need to be the teacher who will teach the ABC, the 1, 2, 3. You don't need to be this teacher. You can be the teacher who teaches conversation. You can teach business English. You can teach English for au pair people. You have like 1,000 different specialties to work on. So yeah, find one, like crazy in love with it, and just start exploring it. And also do it yourself, DIY. It's the best advice ever. And I have always self-taught myself a lot of things, especially languages. And I do it all alone, like Instagram post videos. It's not perfect. If it was made by a professional, probably it would be better. Probably it would look better. But but I can see that it's enough. It's enough for the people who listen to me, for the people who watch me. So don't be afraid to put your identity there. Do it yourself. It will be great.
Yeah, I loved your advices. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I think your content, it's awesome. It's really great because I've been following you for a while, and I know that the posts that you do, it's super engaging, so they are fun. Something that a lot of people struggle with, and then I realized because nowadays I'm also studying and learning a lot about digital marketing. So when people are thinking about starting something, the first thing that they struggle with is basically start because they don't know how to start, or they are afraid that they are not capable of. But something that realize, as you said, there are so many niches that you can specialize. You don't have to be like a teacher who teaches grammar, pronunciation, all the areas inside of English. You can specialize in some specific niche. And another thing that I would like to mention is that we are all different. You can put your personality in your brand. So if you think, but there are some teachers that they already teach their students from basic things, how can I stand out? Be yourself. Go out there, show your personality. And one of the most valuable things that I've been learning is that if you want to build a brand, I think I'm already answering the second question, but okay, is you need to bring value. So for example, you can't start doing something saying, buy this for me. It's like if you are going out and you are in the street and a stranger say, can you give me some money? This won't work. You need to have a strategy. You need to bring value. And then at the end of this process of giving value to people, then you can offer your service. It's a process. Okay, let's move on to the next question. I think you will have some good tips because, yes, you build, I don't know, I think the last time that I checked, you had, 7,000 of followers on Instagram. And I know that Instagram, it's a powerful tool that we can use as an advantage to build our brand, to start a business, and to make money. Okay, so the next question is, do you have any tips for creating an online presence and building a community on Instagram?
Yeah, we're almost hitting 10,000 followers. It's growing very fast. It's like today, the last time I checked, it was almost 9,000. We're hitting 9 today. So basically almost 10, and I'm very excited. I know we shouldn't get excited about numbers, but come on, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And I'm really passionate about this community. As you said, you have to bring value to the things you're posting. And basically all the people who follow me, they're very interested in my niche, which is great. They are not people who who want to study to go into a proficiency thing. Because I don't do that. I don't help people with that. So basically they are very connected to my niche, which is awesome. And I think some tips that I can give for people who are trying to start on this world is basically you're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone a lot. And this is not a bad thing. You don't need to do anything you don't feel comfortable doing completely, but a little bit, yeah. So it's a little contradictory answer, but for example, I used to be terribly afraid of showing up in front of cameras. Even in my personal life, I hate it. I don't like taking pictures. I don't have pictures of myself. I have pictures of my dog and this type of thing. I don't like it because I used to have some personality problems like everyone else. I used to use braces. I took them off this year. So now I feel more secure about my image. But last year, I didn't. I didn't feel secure about my image. I used to feel sad. I used to feel like I was looking terrible. But I started to see that people who showed up in front of the camera used to have more engagement and this type of thing. I was like, yeah, that's the time, girl. You're gonna have to do it. Get over yourself. And then I just tried. I just recorded my first story like, hi guys, how are you? Like, oh my God. And then I posted. I was like, forget about it. No one cares about your braces. And it was very difficult. I got anxious. I got like very nervous about it. But now today, it's like part of my day. It's part of my daily routine. Like, come on, let's record some stories and do this. Recording and posting videos, I used to hate that like terribly. And now it's normal. Like every Wednesday, I record videos for my Instagram. Every Friday, I post them. It's something that it's not an obligation for me. I'm not 100% comfortable doing. It's part of my job. So I think understanding that this is your job, treat it like your job. Don't treat it like 100% like a hobby. Because hobbies, you can like, all right, let's wait. But when it's about your job, you don't have this option. So I think it's a good advice. Treat your thing, whatever it is, like a job. You will have much more responsibility.
Awesome. This is fascinating. And I really needed to hear this, and I still cannot believe that you don't feel super 100% comfortable in front of the camera, because when I see your stories, you sound so natural. So this is the key of being consistent. So you developed this skill that now you are at a point that you show up and you do what you want to do because you know it's important for your career, it's important for your followers because they can relate. And this is something that I struggle a lot. That's why I decided to start in the audio format, doing podcasts, because I feel more less nervous recording my voice. But oh man, when I have to put my face in front of the camera, I think people already know about it because now I am trying to record myself. Usually I am recording myself when I am inviting people to be part of our Telegram community and when we have group calls on Zoom, because I build a community out of this podcast. This is something that I never thought that I would do. And I decided to do this because I know that people struggle with communication and I can relate. It's hard. So I came up with the idea, I will start a Telegram group, and then also using the Instagram, I will invite people to be part of our group calls on Zoom, and it's so much fun. And I had the opportunity to connect and communicate with people from all around the globe, people from so many different cultures and backgrounds. But yeah, guys, try to record yourself, because yes, there is proof, because I can totally see that the engagement, when I put my face on the camera, it's higher. People watch more. So yeah, I promise guys that I will try to record myself. I think I will do like Duda. Every time that I want to share something, I will try to record myself. So yeah, guys, try to show up. And something that I would also add is, if you want to build a presence in a community, is being consistent. I started this podcast 2 months ago, and we are almost 400 people in the account of my podcast, and I can't believe. But the key is, each week I post twice, and I'm always showing up in the stories, because in this way people won't forget the podcast and the content. So yeah, you need to be consistent and create a strategy to producing content. Okay, let's move on. We are almost wrapping things up. What is the best advice you could give to someone who is learning English? It can be more than one.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I always have a lot of advices about that. And basically, one advice that's very good, and you have already talked about it, is being consistent. Any language is going to be about consistency and frequency. So basically, do something. I don't know what, but do something every day. Do it a little or do it a lot, but do it every day. So basically, try to watch something, try to read something, try to, follow something on social media. I say something because I respect a lot each person's interest. So in my classes, for example, I don't like to obligate my students to study about something that they don't like it, they don't enjoy learning about. So basically, if you like learning about soccer, you can start following people from other countries. You can read their posts, you can try to comment, you can interact with them. I really like learning about tennis. I listen and I watch tennis matches in English. Of course, in tennis, there's not a lot of talking, but I learned about the points, about the matches, about everything, techniques. I also play tennis. So basically, I learned it in English. And so my memories are in English about this part of my life. And so try to to find your interests, your hobbies, and just put it inside your daily routine in English. Take this example as the soccer for your life and do it with anything else. If you like fashion, study about fashion in English. If you enjoy books, try to read a little book, a little paragraph in English. You don't have to read 1,000 book pages in English. You can start little by little. So I think it's a good advice.
Yes, I agree 100% because I talked about it a lot in the podcast. It is find a passion and then turn this passion in the process of you learning a new skill, English. Yeah, and I've been doing it a lot with the podcast. Everything that I learned to put this all together is in English. And everything that I'm learning, I try to always use English. Recently, I started to think more about my healthy. So I started to follow some people on YouTube who talked about healthy. So yeah, you guys already can understand me and do the talking. So you already have developed your listening skills. So use this as a way to keep in touch with the language. Okay, so last question. Where can people find you online?
Yay! People can find me online under Divergent English, especially on Instagram. I work with Instagram, so you're gonna see my bio link. You can click there. You can talk to us on WhatsApp if you want to know about my English conversation course. I have one spot left on my group conversation classes, which is going to start in September. I don't know when we're going to have more group classes, so if you're interested, but follow me on Instagram, Divergent English. I post every day. There are stories, there are quizzes, tests, posts, videos, so it's a good option for you to study and see me there as well.
Awesome. I will for sure include the links in the show notes. So Duda, thank you so much for being here and for taking the time to record this interview with me. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm really glad to be a part of your podcast. Let me compliment your English. You have a very good English. You speak very well. Totally great to listen to you and talk to you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for your feedback. I really, really appreciate it. Coming from you, yeah, it means a lot to me. Thank you. So bye and I'll see you around.
Bye.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you liked this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a review. This really helps the podcast to grow. I would love to hear your feedback about the show. Feel free to send me a message on Instagram. Now, I have an invitation for you. If you want to practice your English and you don't have anybody else to talk with, you can join our global community on Telegram. Every month I organize a video group call on Zoom for us to hang out. In there you can meet new people, make new friends and practice your English while having fun. If you can't use Telegram, don't worry. Keep an eye on Instagram because I always make stories about our encounters. I'll include links to all the resources that we mentioned in the show notes. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening and I'll see you in the next episode.